Did y'all see everything that's happening in California? Oh my God. He's threatening to arrest the governor on quote unquote, he's not doing a great job. The governor is threatening to sue. He isn't threatening to sue, he is suing. It's not a threat. I thought he put in the court order. Like, it's been done. He is suing. Let's start from where I think is a good place to start.
This past weekend, federal agents conducted large-scale workplace raids in and around Los Angeles. California is no stranger to immigration enforcement. This administration is pushing mass deportations. On Saturday morning, when federal agents jumped out of an unmarked van near a Home Depot parking lot, they began grabbing people, a deliberate targeting of a heavily Latino suburb. Everyday Angelenos came out to exercise their constitutional right to free speech and assembly, to protest their government's actions. The state of California and the city and county of Los Angeles sent our police officers to help keep the peace. And with some exceptions, they were successful. This, again, was different. What then ensued was the use of tear gas, flashbang grenades, rubber bullets. Federal agents detaining people and undermining their due process rights. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets, illegally and for no reason. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk.
You got to admit, what he's saying there is true, because it was an aggravated situation that didn't need to happen. Because, sure, there was a lot of people protesting and they were exercising their right to protest. There's always going to be at protests people who take advantage of the situation, and stupid people who are at protests that make it turn into sometimes a riot. And that's why the police are there. The police are there to make sure that everyone should be safe. You're just there to make sure that everyone is safe, that no one is doing something they shouldn't be. You're allowed to protest, but don't do anything illegal. But bringing in the National Guard was just taking it way too far and going over the heads of the people in power in California. It's just completely wrong. You didn't need to bring in the National Guard. It just feels like trying to exercise like a flex of power on the people that didn't need to happen.
He doubled down on his dangerous National Guard deployment by fanning the flames even harder. He did it on purpose. Protests started again. By night, several dozen lawbreakers became violent and destructive. They vandalized property. They tried to assault police officers. If you incite violence, I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account. Already more than 220 people have been arrested, and we're reviewing tapes to build additional cases, and people will be prosecuted.
I do hope that people are prosecuted. I hope that people who were there, that were rioting, that were burning down cars, and that were busting open people's shops and stealing and hurting and harassing other people, I really hope that they are all prosecuted for the taking advantage of a situation like that, because you're just a scumbag if you do that. Like, you don't stand for anything good. All you're doing is bringing down the protest and the people who are there who are trying to make a difference because you're trying to take advantage of a situation. You belong in prison. You're a criminal.
Thanks to our law enforcement officers and the majority of Angelenos who protested peacefully, the situation was winding down and was concentrated in just a few square blocks downtown. But that's not what Donald Trump wanted. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. Unmarked cars in school parking lots. Kids afraid of attending their own graduation. His agents are arresting dishwashers, gardeners, day laborers, and seamstresses. That's just weakness masquerading as strength. Donald Trump's government isn't protecting our communities. They're traumatizing our communities. California will keep fighting. We'll keep fighting on behalf of our people, all of our people, including in the courts. Just yesterday, we filed a legal challenge to Donald Trump's reckless deployment of American troops to a major American city. Today, we sought an emergency court order to stop the use of the American military to engage in law enforcement activities across Los Angeles. Trump and his loyalists, they thrive on division because it allows them to take more power and exert even more control. A president who wants to be bound by no law or constitution, perpetuating a unified assault on American traditions. This is a president who in just over 140 days has fired government watchdogs that could hold him accountable for corruption and fraud. He's delegitimizing news organizations, and he's assaulting the First Amendment. And the threat of defunding them, at threat, he's dictating what universities themselves can teach. He's targeting law firms and the judicial branch that are the foundations of an orderly and civil society.
You tell them, Gavin. Go on, pop off, continue. Keep telling us how Trump is making a dictatorship out of America. Please do. Like, I think it's great that somebody is standing up to him. This is awesome, though.
He's calling for a sitting governor to be arrested for no other reason than to, in his own words, for getting elected. And we all know this Saturday, he's ordering our American heroes, the United States military, and forcing them to put on a vulgar display to celebrate his birthday, just as other failed dictators have done in the past.
In fairness, who here is okay with 45 million being spent on Donald Trump's birthday this Saturday? Who would be happier seeing that 45 million going towards helping your infrastructure in America, your school systems or healthcare, or anything else you think 45 million could be used to help you? Wouldn't you rather see 45 million in debt go away rather than 45 million spent on an inflated man's ego on his birthday? It says on CBS News that it's the taxpayers' money. And a Senator, Adam Schiff, has also made a comment about it on Twitter. The Economic Times also is saying that it's an estimated cost from 25 million to 45 million for taxpayers. US Today, taxpayers millions, 45 million on Trump's parade. Like, it's your choice if you refuse to see and to say that it is lies, but you know.
Look, this isn't just about protests here in Los Angeles. When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation. This is about all of us. This is about you. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived. He's taking a wrecking ball to our founding fathers' historic project. 3 co-equal branches of independent government. There are no longer any checks and balances. Congress is nowhere to be found. Speaker Johnson has completely abdicated that responsibility. The founding fathers, they didn't live and die to see this kind of moment. It's time for all of us to stand up. Justice Brandeis, he said it best. In a democracy, the most important office, with all due respect, Mr. President, is not the presidency, and it's certainly not governor. The most important office is office of citizen. At this moment, we all need to stand up and be held to account, a higher level of accountability. If you exercise your First Amendment rights, please do it peacefully. What Donald Trump wants most is your fealty, your silence to be complicit in this moment. Do not give in to him.
That was a really good speech. And I think if you're looking at it just from the speech, it's pretty based. I love how people on YouTube are saying like, stupid, and you just Googled for your info. I'm sorry, I don't take the undying word of people on Fox News for what I should take as fact.
2028 Democrats are scrubbing pronouns faster than Brian Stelter clears a Vegas buffet.
I go and look it up online. How in 2025 are you calling somebody stupid for fact checking on Google? Like, where are you supposed to fact check? I'm sorry, like,